Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. This is Leslie from PHA. So thank you for joining us for peer-to-peer fundraising using your personal networks to increase attendance and funds for your event. We are very fortunate today to have a wonderful guest speaker with us, Jeff Love from First Giving. I'll actually advance the slide so you can. Oops. Jess, for some reason it's not advancing. Would you be able to?
Yep.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, there we go. There's Jeff. So we're very excited to welcome Jeff, who is our First Giving liaison from First Giving. So you can take it away, Jeff.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited to be speaking with all of you today. If you have any questions, definitely feel free. You can chat them like they said, or feel free. I'm more than comfortable talking with all of you at the end of the webinar as well. So definitely write them down, and I'd be happy to help you out with those. So I'm just going to kind of get started here. And what we're going to kind of focus on today from the First Giving aspect is the peer-to-peer fundraising and how to facilitate that. So First Giving by its nature is peer-to-peer. It's set up with web giving and the web platform to be shared from person to person. And there are a couple of tools on both the nonprofit side, so some tools that you guys have at your fingertips to really kind of help the people who are going to be raising those funds for you. And then there are also some great tools that I'm going to talk about that those fundraisers have themselves to share their page and to really drive up the donations on those pages. So understanding both how the nonprofit tools work as well as how the fundraiser tools work are really important because that way you can really encourage your fundraisers to be actively using all the tools that that First Giving has for them, and you can hopefully be using those tools as well. So just going to kind of go over the nonprofit tools first. So these are some of the most important from dealing with a lot of nonprofits. I deal with 75 of First Giving's top nonprofits. PHA is one of them. And these are some of the ones that I've highlighted as the most important nonprofit tools, the ones that don't take that long to do, that are very efficient, that you get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. I know everybody is really busy and wants to work efficiently and get everything done as quickly and efficiently as possible. So the first one is our email tool, which means you can easily send out targeted emails to your fundraisers and registrants. I'm going to kind of go through each one of these on a slide-by-slide basis so you guys can get a little look at what they look like, and also I'll give you some more information about them as well. And then there's custom registration. So you're able to create unique registration questions and answers that fit your needs. So not just age, gender, things like that. If you have really specific questions that you need that are really important to your event, questions like T-shirt size, or if you're having a barbecue after your walk and you would like to know if they're a vegetarian, or anything like that. Basically, if you can think of it as a question and an answer, you can create it on First Giving, and then that ties in nicely to the next one, which is in-depth reporting. So you're going to be able to have all of your participants' information at your fingertips. So all their information from their email, their physical address, all of the answers to those registration questions that we were talking about, so you can see that person X wants an extra large T-shirt and is not a vegetarian, so you can plan accordingly for them. Really in-depth reporting to give you a really good idea to be able to plan ahead for your event to have the most successful event possible. And then page creation and My First Donation. So My First Donation is something that's relatively new within the last couple of months on First Giving, and we're really excited about it. Basically what it does is it gives people the option to make a donation to their page while they're setting it up. So we always talk about a best practice is to make that first donation to your page, show that you really care, but in the past people would have to set up their page and then go back to it, and it was kind of a clunky process. Now it's all streamlined into one. So I'm going to kind of go into more detail on all of these now.
Jeff, if I could, I'm sorry, Jeff, if I could just jump in, just so for the event organizers that are out there that are listening in, the tools that Jeff is about to go over, are tools that we will help you with. Like we'll work with you if you wanted to send out emails and stuff. We'll work with. This is the back end stuff that you would work with Jessica and I to get on your first giving page. Sorry, Jeff.
No, it's okay. Absolutely. So this is the nonprofit email tool. And what the nonprofit email tool is really great at is sending targeted messaging to specific groups of people. So let's say you have 100 people registered for your event, but you notice that only 50 of them, so only half of them, have a fundraising page set up. You can send out an email to all of those people very easily saying, I would like to send out an email to registrants who have not yet set up their fundraising page. And at that point you can write a motivating email to them saying, hey, there's still time to set up your fundraising page. There's still time to actively get fundraising. Provide them some tips and tricks, things like that. And what that will do is it will take all of the emails from all the people who have registered for that event, filter through the people who have not yet created their page, and send out those messages to those people. Then by the same token, if you have of those 50 people, let's say 40 of them are fundraising and have raised a decent amount, an average amount of money, but 10 of those people are really kind of going above and beyond. They've raised a lot of money for you, and you want to send out a thank you message to those people. You can also send out a message to your fundraisers and select a dollar amount. So if you say, I want to send out this email to everyone who's raised over $1,500 for me and really thank them for going above and beyond. You can absolutely do that by selecting, that I want to select for fundraisers who have raised over $1,500. You write your email message, same thing as before. It goes out to that specific group of people. What you're also able to do is you're also able to, and you can see this in the slide here, you're able to insert first name, last name, event name. You're also able to, when it's talking about fundraising, you're also able to insert how much they've raised. So it's really quick and easy for you to create a mail merge that feels really personal and can really get a clear and concise message across to these people without feeling so much like a newsletter, without feeling, really feeling like you're reaching out to them personally with their first name and their amount raised, really looking to help them. This is a really, really great tool. It's really quick and it's really easy, and a lot of the nonprofits that I work with who don't know it exists, when they start using it, they said, I can't imagine doing my event without this year or next year. So definitely a great tool there. The next one we're going to go over is custom registration. So here is just kind of an example of what custom registration looks like. This one's pretty simple, asking T-shirt size, and there's a waiver in there, and then you can kind of, you go on and go to the next steps of registration from there. But like I said previously, if you want to get kind of more granular and you really want to plan, a barbecue after the walk, or you want to, anything that you can turn into questions that's important for you to know, think of all of the work that you did before the walk last year and say, hey, it really would have been great to know, how many kids they had if they didn't register their kids, or, if they'd need parking, or, I'm just kind of throwing some examples out there. But if you can turn it into a question that you would like to have that information, you absolutely can do that with custom registration. It's a really powerful tool that really allows you to plan as much as you can. I mean, it's a walk with people. You're always going to have to be ready for the unknown, but to get as much ready and planned as possible before the day of the event. Then is the in-depth reporting. So we have 4 different types of reports on First Giving that I believe Leslie and Jessica said that you can talk to them about and maybe have them pull those reports for you. But let me kind of explain the 4 different reports. The first one that I highlighted is my favorite one. It's the Participant Details Report. It's the most complete of all the reports. It's kind of our Cadillac of reports, so to speak. It has participant information such as registration questions and answers, a link to their fundraising page. So if you wanted to take a quick look at their fundraising page to see what they did, did they upload a picture, did they do custom text, that type of thing. It's really easy for you to click in and get that. Their contact information, so it has their their email address, their personal mailing address, everything like that. Their totals raised. If they're on a team, it has that in there too. This is, like I said, the most complete report that we have, which is really good because if you want one report to kind of cover all of your bases, this is definitely the one. Then kind of moving on from there is the Fundraiser Details Report. So this is the same as the participant details report, except it doesn't have any registration information, meaning if you have someone who has registered but not created a fundraising page, you can't see them in there, but you would be able to see them in the participant details report. This is only for people who are actively fundraising, not just for people who have registered. And then we have our donor details report. This is line-by-line data of donations for events. So for your event, you can see all the people who have donated to your event if you wanted to do a mass thank you email or something like that, and also fundraising pages. So if you get someone on the phone who says, I think I've raised this much, but I can't remember, you could call Leslie or Jessica and have them pull a report for Bob Smith and have and then you can send him this report. Here are all the people who donated to you. They're able to see that in their fundraising back end as well. But just another tool for you to have. And then the last one is the team details report. Like I mentioned, team details are included in the participant details report, but if you're just kind of interested in looking at if you're having a team competition, which team has raised more money than the other, and you're just kind of interested in that data, you're able to get at that there in these reports as well. Definitely the reports are really great to have, great way to keep yourself organized, especially as you get close to an event, planning and everything like that. So I think that this is definitely, I'm very organized and I'm very, I like to have everything just where it should be. So, and a lot of event organizers are the same way. So they're definitely a great tool. Definitely would recommend you guys take a look at them. The next one is page creation and my first donation. So this is a screenshot of what page donation looks like. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a background of how we got to this slide, I would have gone to a walk and roll event. I would have clicked register. I would have put in my information, answered any registration questions, and then after that, it's going to ask me to create my fundraising page. And you can see here, it easily sets up to do a page title. There are some stock pictures that are uploaded already at past events. They're able to upload their own picture as well. There's some generic text kind of in there, but what you're able to do here as a fundraiser is quickly create your fundraising page. So our goal is that you are able to sign up for the event, have your first giving fundraising page set up, and make that first donation in 5 minutes, and not ever have to really think about your page again as far as editing it or getting it ready, and then just kind of send it out. So this is where they're able to do that. It's all part of that process. You can also see in the bottom left-hand corner it says make the first donation to your page. This is that process where I was talking about before, where you're able to make that first donation to your page. So basically, if it's a $25 registration fee for the walk, and I would choose to make a $100 donation, it's just going to charge me $125, and it's going to break up $25 to the registration fee and $100 to my fundraising page. It makes it really quick and really easy to make that first donation, which is definitely a best practice. People, we often find, will really set the tone of how much they're going to get on their page by that first donation. So someone who could give $100, if they see that the first donation is $50, is much more likely to give $50 instead of $100, and vice versa. People who would then be able to give more often give more if they see that not only are you walking in this event, but you've given that donation to yourself. So you're really committed. You're really ready to go for this event. Definitely a best practice there as well. So now we're going to kind of move on to Fundraisers Tools. So those were the tools that you guys have in your bag there to really get out and drive the fundraisers going. These are the Fundraisers tools that they have. Pretty similar to the email tool that I showed you guys is our new fundraiser email tool. What we did is we said our nonprofits love the email tool. What we're going to do is we're going to create a version of that for our fundraisers. Make it really easy for them to import contacts, really easily share their page, so they can blast out to all their friends and family about their page and get as many donations as possible. The second thing is the unique URL. So each fundraiser on First Giving has their own URL that can easily be shared. A lot of pages will have, fundraising pages will have a very long URL that's very hard to remember. First Givings are pretty simple. And then also social media. How are you going to successfully integrate as a fundraiser social media into your fundraisers efforts? So give you kind of a sneak peek here. This has recently been released and people are really, really loving it when they're using it. So what you're looking at now is the Fundraiser email tool. Actually, it looks like the slides got a little out of order, so I'm going to go to this one first. Here we go. So this is the first slide of the Fundraiser email tool. So when I come here as a fundraiser, I'm able to do a couple of things that make sharing my page really easy and really quick. The first of which is importing my contacts from Yahoo, Gmail, or AOL. And just, you can click that. You allow, First Giving to access your Gmail account book, and you're able to quickly import hundreds of Gmail, Yahoo account contacts and have that in there, which is a really, really easy way for people to say, oh, I don't remember her email, or I don't remember that. If you have emailed back and forth with them on Gmail enough times, a lot of times, or Yahoo, a lot of times they'll automatically save. So it's a really, really quick way to, to find all of the people that you have potential to email. You're also able to manually enter email addresses. So if you wanted to send out a specific campaign maybe to just everybody, and then a specific campaign to your close friends and family, you're able to do that. And then what it also does is, once you've imported these contacts, it keeps them in a First Giving contact book. So once you send an email to someone, if they come back and give a donation, you're then able to see who has given a donation to you. So as a fundraiser, I'm able to send out custom thank you emails to people who have already donated to me, which means I can also take them off my list if I'm continually asking for a donation. They're not getting 3 or 4 or 5 emails from me as a fundraiser. So it's really, really easy way to manage the contacts as a fundraiser. This is the second slide here of the Fundraiser email tool. And up here where you see the miles for melanoma, this is just an example, but PHA's banner will be up here. So it'll really look professional, it'll really look nice. It's a really quick and easy way for people to donate to you through this email. They click donate and they're instantly taken to your page to make that donation. And then you can see over on the left, you're able to import donor first name, donor last name, insert your page address as a fundraiser, the nonprofit name, how much you've raised. You're able to insert all these great merge fields to make it seem really personal and less spammy. And then you're also able to choose some templates. So a lot of people want to send out an email, but they don't really know where to get started. What we've done is we provided them with some great templates, a thank you template, an ask template, and things like that. So they can at least look at it. They can just use it word for word if they want to, or they can kind of get the idea and then go from there. So that's kind of our fundraising email tool in a nutshell. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was unique fundraiser URL. So every fundraiser and every user on First Giving has this URL set up. It's firstgiving.com/fundraiser/ and then whatever they want it to be. They're able to log into their account and they go to the profile tab and they're able to change this to be whatever it is. A lot of people will say, well, the link to my specific page this year is kind of long because after Jeff Love it'll tack on another thing for this year's page. But a quick tip about First Giving is it will always default to the fundraiser's most active page. So if your fundraiser URL has been going on for 4 years, if it's Jeff Love / Hello?
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. The wireless customer you called is not available at this time. Please try your call again later. Announcement 1-4192-1.
All right.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. The wireless customer you called is not available at this time. Please try your call again later. Announcement 1-4192.
Can we hear everybody?
Can everybody still hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So just kind of backtrack a little bit. So as a fundraiser, I have this URL that will default to my most recent fundraising efforts. So all you have to remember is First Giving as a fundraiser is firstgiving.com/fundraiser and then whatever you set it up to be. And then that will automatically push it to your most recent fundraising page, which is a really great thing because a lot of times there'll be super long URLs that are really hard to remember. So if you see someone as a fundraiser at a party, you can say, oh, just remember this, and it's really easy for people to remember, really easy for people to get to. That's definitely a really quick and really easy thing for fundraisers that is really important to them as well. And then social media. So FirstGiving, we have a blog on FirstGiving here, which is just, you can go to firstgiving.com and access our blog, our Facebook, our Twitter. I definitely recommend you guys spend some time, poke around all of those a little bit, especially our blog. We have an absolutely great person who's managing the content on our blog, fantastic ideas. You can link your fundraisers to specific fundraising ideas, things like that. Definitely also on the left-hand side here is a little snippet from our Facebook. Like us on Facebook and post what you're doing on our FirstGiving Facebook. Definitely promote yourselves. Have your fundraisers promote themselves. And if you guys are, if you tweet as well, definitely, you can tweet at us, and we'll do our best to tweet back and give you as much publicity as possible to help you guys and your fundraisers drive up those donations. But social media is a really, really important part, and there's a lot of great social media work at your fingertips there with FirstGiving's site. So that's kind of the end of what I had to say.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jeff. This is Leslie again. I know people probably have lots of questions, but
yeah, absolutely.
We're going to talk. I think Jess and I have a few other tips to talk about first, and then we'll get to the questions. So,
sounds great.
Thank you again, Jeff, for all those great online tools for peer-to-peer fundraising. But we wanted to talk a little bit quickly about some stuff that you can still do offline. I know that in today's this day and age, we're all about emails and using the web, but we can't forget some of the other, our regular techniques of using paper. So a great way to help promote your event and get the word out about your event and get people to donate is to create a lot of marketing materials. So creating your event posters, your flyers, postcards, pamphlets, everything to promote your event. I take this a lot from Joanne Schmidt, who is an event organizer, and she will always say everyone has a network. So we really want you to focus on using your network to really get the word out about your events. So if you can send all your FirstGiving site, your flyers, your postcards to all of your friends and family, sharing your story, telling them about your event, and then asking them to share it with their network. So you can kind of get that connection to keep going, and you're getting the word out about your event. Another good idea is to contact your local medical PH professionals. In your next appointment, ask them if they'll put the flyers in their clinic. Ask them if they'll hand it out to other patients so that people will know about your event as well. Same thing with if you're going to a support group meeting or you have contacts with your local PH-related pharmaceutical companies and specialty pharmacies, doing the same thing, giving them a bunch of your flyers and asking if they will help promote your event as well. And also you want to go into your local businesses. See if they will hang your posters up for you. A lot of people will go into local businesses asking for sponsorships and donations. Talk to people. Tell them what you're fundraising for. Tell them your story, and ask if they will share your materials with others as well. Let's see if can. Jess?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. And also, Marcia, who's one of our participants on the webinar today, also said to include the ICU when you consider reaching out to your network of healthcare professionals. So great tips. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so a couple last fundraising tips. Working peer-to-peer, so between friends and your personal networks. Some additional offline tips is to use Leslie and I, advertise through PHA. We will mail out your event flyer to all of our contacts who live in your area. So this is really helpful for folks who may not be plugged into a support group or may not have an expansive network of the PH community. We'll do that on your behalf. We also will advertise your event on our online calendar. So that's another online tip, but we do a lot to try and get the word out while you're also promoting your event locally. And then invite your local networks to participate. So PH support groups are such a fantastic way to really include the PH community in your cause and what you're doing. You can also contact, if you're a member of a church or you have a community or civic organization that you belong to, tap into those networks. You never know who will be willing and able to help you and help you succeed in what you're doing. And also something that people don't think of often is college sororities and fraternities. I know some of our event organizers have used these networks in the past. College kids often have to do service projects as part of their experience, their college experience. People are very cause-minded at colleges and universities, so think about tapping in if you live near a university or college campus, tapping into that as well. And then finally, we have a grassroots media program at PHA, and we definitely encourage all of our event organizers to be able to share their story and the story of why they're doing their event through the local media in your area. So we have the contact information for Elizabeth Williams. She's the person that will be a huge resource to you, and you can contact her at PHA by dialing our main line and then dialing in extension 753. So that is PHA's little presentation on things that you can do offline. And so now we are definitely able to take your questions. And I never muted the lines anyway, so you are all unmuted. You can chat the questions to us or ask away. We're here to help field your questions.
I'm not sure I have a question.
I see Merle has her hand raised, so I will call on you, Merle.
Yes, this is Merle. I'm just wondering if Jeff or an associate will be available, because I know I won't remember half the stuff he said.
Absolutely. And you can contact Jess or Leslie for help, and they can kind of pass it along to me. But if you are kind of in the thick of it, and you're clicking around and maybe you get a little bit lost or anything like that, we have absolutely fantastic support people. They're here from 9 to 5, and let me give you guys all a phone number that you can reach them at. It is 877-365. 2949, and there's only 3 of them here, so if you don't get a hold of them, leave a message and they definitely get back to you really quickly. You can also, if email's more your thing, you can do support@firstgiving.com is their email address, and they're super great about helping you out, walking you through and everything like that. But if you have a higher level question, you can definitely feel free to pass it along, and it'll get to me as well.
And one more quick question. I've had a First Giving page for, it must be 5 years. This will be my 6th one. Is there a way to just use that and update it?
So yeah, that's a really common question that we get, and unfortunately it's not, and let me kind of explain why a little bit. So the page that you created 5, 6 years ago, or that you continue to have each year, is tied to a specific event. So that is tied to a specific event, which helps the revenue go to the right place for that event, which helps the reporting that I was just talking about all make sure that it goes to the right place and everything like that. However, what you are able to do is that Fundraiser URL that I was talking about, that will always stay the same. So you will always be able, year in and year out, to use firstgiving.com/fundraiser/yourname. And that will always take you to the most recent fundraising page that you have on First Giving. So while you're not able to just use the same one from a year ago, you can continue now that you kind of know about that to use that URL over and over again and feel comfortable doing that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, it's Ruth from Toronto. I see payment issues on that slide. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Payment issues. So payment issues would be, some people. The most common payment issue that we'll get is when one of the donors will give to your fundraising page, and then on their credit card it'll say First Giving, and they won't get that. I gave to PHA, not First Giving, and then they'll call and say, hey, what's this charge on my card? And more often than not, we just say, oh, look, you gave to this person's page on such and such a date. And they say, oh, okay, that's what I meant to do. Other payment issues are sometimes people will get confused and maybe make too large of a donation, or they wanted to do something else. Anything with that would require a refund, we're happy to do that. If they got confused and made the wrong donation or made too big of one, so on and so forth.
Is there a cost associated with being part of First Giving for those of us wishing to set up pages?
So those of you wishing to set up pages, no, there are not costs associated with setting up pages. The First Giving transactional fee is kind of how we keep our doors open and keep people employed. And what that breaks down to is 7.5%. So 7.5% of every donation goes towards that, but 2.5% of that 7.5% goes towards the credit card transaction. So anytime you buy something with your credit card, whether it be the grocery store, on Amazon.com, or anywhere, Visa, MasterCard, American Express are going to get a small portion of that. What a lot of other online giving sites will do is they'll charge per transaction, and then for the donation, we try to make it as simple as possible and just say 7.5%. 2.5% of that goes towards the credit card fee, which for American Express, and sometimes Visa is actually a little bit more expensive than 2.5%, but we just eat that cost for you. It doesn't get transferred to you. And 5% goes towards keeping our lights on, keeping our phones ringing, and everything like that. But one of the great features that we released in the past year, First Giving, we always try and be as transparent about our fees as possible, is the ability for donors to cover that fee, to pay the fee. So if you're making a $50 donation, it comes to the ask, would you like to pay the fee on this donation? And it just tax on an extra $3 or $2 or whatever it is. And then PHA gets the full donation that way because the super generous donor has covered that transactional fee. That is something that while it's new, definitely seeing it gaining steam as people get more comfortable kind of talking about the fact that there are costs associated with online giving and everything like that. And we see as high as 35 to 40% of donors are actually choosing to cover this fee on the site now.
Thank you. That's great.
Yep.
Lois, hi. You have your hand raised?
Yeah, we used First Giving last year with our Miles for Mallory walk. And the one issue that kept coming up over and over and over with people, of course it was our first time using First Giving. It was our first time doing fundraising. But the people who came and wanted to donate and participate in our walk, number one, had qualms about going to something that wasn't PHA. They didn't like that. We collected a lot of money by personal checks to PHA and hand registering them. And the other one was when they did use the First Giving website, there was a place to register, and that's all they wanted to do was do their $25 registration fee. The website immediately put them to, do you want to donate? And that was very confusing, and I wonder if that will be addressed. Some people just want to register. They don't. Then all of a sudden another page clicks up like, do you want to donate? And I realize you want to raise more money, but our people became very kind of frightened of that. So I was just wondering if that's being addressed.
Yeah, that definitely is. So some of the things that we have done is create some toggleable buttons where on the page, it can just a big green button. You can make it say register instead of get started or instead of fundraise or something like that. So on the event, you could have the button say register, which is going to make people feel a little bit more comfortable. Okay, I'm just going to click here to register. And one of the things that you said was they were asked to fundraise or asked to make a donation. That is still part of the registration process because, and let me just kind of explain why. First Giving is a template-based site, so one of the reasons why we're able to keep our costs down as low as we are able to is because it's pretty much the same for everybody who's using it, which allows us to make broad changes to help everybody. But it also, if one person wants to do one thing and we changed it for you guys, it would also change it for the other 7,999 of our nonprofits. That being said, there are options for people to click I don't want to fundraise on that step, or I don't want to join a team as well. So that is there and that is part of it. And if they just keep clicking next and get through just to try and finish and get through, they'll be done. They'll have a fundraising page, but they don't necessarily have to use it. But the buttons that are there, let's say I don't want to fundraise or I don't want to do this particular thing.
Okay. And just to tack on to what Jeff said, that's exactly why we when Leslie and I are sort of supporting you in your fundraising, we definitely encourage folks to have both options. Online tools, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and we totally understand that and get that. And so that is why we encourage people to do things like having a print registration form and a print flyer and things that you can distribute. Physically distribute to your personal networks. And Merle just put a really great tip up on the chat function. When we're doing offline fundraising and offline registration, you make your check out to PHA, but in the note of the memo of the check, you put your event name, and that makes sure that every donation, whether it's online through FirstGiving or offline by collecting checks and by paper, that all gets routed to PHA, and that all gets put in the correct place so that every single donation that you raise gets allocated to your event, and then it gets used according to your wishes, either for research or programs or a mixture of both.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We definitely have a couple more minutes for questions. I think we've had a lot of great conversation, a lot of great questions. So if anyone is formulating them, please take your time. We'll wait for a little bit longer and then finish up the presentation.
I also just kind of wanted to add to that what you're talking about with offline donations or checks and things like that. If you have a particular fundraiser who's pretty web savvy and really likes the idea of having FirstGiving be their presence on the web for their fundraising as a whole, people as they're fundraising are going to get checks. They're also going to get donations on FirstGiving hopefully as well. So they're going to kind of have a mixed bag. For those people who want to really represent and use FirstGiving as kind of their fundraising hub, not just their online fundraising hub, they are also able to add offline donations to their page. So if they have $500 worth of checks and $500 worth of online giving, then they've really raised $1,000. They're proud of that. They want to show that. They're able to do that as well.
Yep.
Yeah, we did use that. That was good.
Yeah. Great. Any more questions for Jeff or for Leslie or I? Oh, Cheryl.
Yeah. How far in advance should you set up your site before an event?
That is a fantastic question. So this is one of the first things I would say. Leslie, you might disagree with me or agree with me. Whatever.
I agree.
This is probably one of the first things that we do with people who decide to do a special event to benefit PHA. We sort of get you set up with all of the resources that we have to offer. FirstGiving is one really helpful tool of a myriad of things that we offer event organizers. And so if you're doing, FirstGiving is really great for walks. So if you're doing a walk, a lot of people open up their registration several months in advance just to allow for every opportunity for people to register online or make a donation or fundraise among their peers. We've definitely done events where registration opens up a little bit closer to the event, and so it's sort of up to you how long you want to be out there promoting your event. But I'd say as a general rule, like maybe 3 or 4 months in advance. and we help you. Leslie and I help you set up the online registration. So basically what you would do is provide us the information, and we have sort of a questionnaire that helps you guide your thoughts in that process, and then we're the ones that sort of sign in and get everything up and running for you, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
And just to kind of tack on to that from the first giving side too, I can tell you I definitely see a direct correlation to more successful events and the 12 to 16 week time frame. That is generally seems to be the really good time frame where people feel comfortable signing up that early and can get fundraising and can get going. So you kind of have your early birds getting going early, and then you'll have the people who are a little bit late as well, but it still gives them time to do that as well. So definitely doesn't hurt to set it up sooner.
Great. Marcia, I think you had your hand raised too.
Oh, you pretty much said what we were doing.
Oh, good. Yeah.
We wanted to get everything set up, and we're doing a 5K run this year, and so we wanted to get out to those runners, and we wanted to be able to put a flyer for people who are racing now. Put it. Apparently, the racers get little things under their windshield, and so we went ahead and set it up so we could include all that on our sponsorship packets and our flyers that we're already going to start handing out to runners. So it was important to get it done early. I won't send out my personal request till about September or early October.
Right. But yeah, that's a great point. I mean, this is sort of the time of year if you're doing sort of like a more advanced type of event like you guys are doing down in North Texas, tacking on a 5K option. There's definitely sort of a running community and a running culture, and sort of taking advantage of the fact that spring is a really popular time for a lot of those shorter runs. I think that's really fantastic. Okay. Well, I think, Leslie, I'll just turn it back over to you to do the last couple of wrap-up slides.
Okay, yes, thank you. So thank you all for those great questions. Just to kind of do, because we did give a lot of information today, and so we just wanted to kind of put our contact info out there. So that's Jessica and I, in case you didn't know, and that's our contact information. And in terms of like when you're trying to plan for your first giving page, you can definitely work with us. We will, for your page setup, for managing the reports that Jeff was talking about, we're the ones that will go in the back end and run those reports and send them to you. So definitely contact and let us know what kind of reports you'd like and how often you'd like them, and we can send those to you. The group emails that Jeff was talking about at the beginning of the presentation, those are something that we can work with you to go into the back end. You can help us create what you want said in the email, and we can send that out for you. And any other special event related needs, of course, you can contact us with that. And thank you. And then Jeff did a great job of explaining when to contact First Giving, and this is just the information. They're available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, and this is the information on how you can reach them. And this is just our little plug. So, you've got all this great information today on peer-to-peer fundraising. So it is definitely a great time to start thinking ahead if you don't already have an event planned. If you're thinking about it, to be in touch with us and start thinking about a summer or fall event. It's a good time to start planning, and we are definitely here to help you along the way. You can visit us online for ideas and resources. It's on the website, www.phassociation.org/special events. From there you can access, you can see pictures from previous events. You can access our online event planning guidebook and our online event resource center too, so you should all check that out. You can also, this is one of many series we've done on special events through webinars, so we have recordings of them all available online. So that's the web address where you can get those as well. And of course, contact Jessica or myself if you have any questions, and we can get you started. And so we just want to take a moment and thank our sponsor, Pfizer. This was made possible through an unrestricted grant from Pfizer, so we thank them for that. And we thank once again Jeff for participating today. And to all of our participants, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was great talking to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Is that all she wrote?
Yeah, this concludes our presentation, yes.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Please stand by.